First in Ohio, TV 5. Live from Ohio's News Channel, this is TV 5 Eyewitness News with Ted Henry, Wilma Smith, Don Webster with the weather, Sports Director Nev Chandler, and the Eyewitness News team. Brought to you by Ohio Edison.
Will this scene be repeated again come tomorrow morning?
The chances right now are very good that more rain could make for a damp morning commute.
Good evening. If it ever happens again, it will simply be too soon.
But Mother Nature certainly has a way of doing what she wants, when she wants.
But you know, the rain certainly isn't just a problem for cars that like to move along dry land. Even boats that float have a problem with it these days. Our Elaine Tack is live from the East Shoreway with more on that. Elaine, fill us in. Elaine, we're having a little trouble hearing you, so just talk for another second if you can, see if we can clear up that microphone problem.
Okay, can you hear me now, Ted?
We can hear you a little bit.
Okay,
Speak
well,
up.
I can tell you the road behind me is one that had a lot of problems this morning. People were just going at a snail's pace this morning because of the downpour. But as you said, it wasn't just the cars that are having troubles today. Boat owners are in trouble because of the downpour, too. After the 1st of May, northern Ohio's lakes and rivers fill up with boats and water. And the Rocky River is moving debris swiftly downstream into boats and docks along the way.
I'm just concerned about the high water and the debris building up on the dock and potentially washing the docks out.
Last year, Tony lost a boat in this.
We're waiting for the river run. We had a lot of rain lately, so I figured we'll leave them out until it gets it out of its system. Last year I lost a boat when the docks let loose.
But most folks take this in stride. They say it happens 2, 3, even 4 times a year, and it's something you come to expect when you're docked on the Rocky River.
It's part of boating. You'll live and you'll learn.
Now, the Chagrin River flooded, as well as other rivers throughout the area. So some of those rivers flooded out basements. There were lots of problems throughout the area. And it's hard to imagine right now that we're going to have the same kind of problems tomorrow morning. But indeed, Don Webster indicated that it may be a problem tomorrow morning, Ted.
We don't even want to think about it, but we have to face the facts. Okay,
we'll have a safe drive home.
Thank you.
All right, we saw what's coming our way. What happened? What about what is coming our way? More of the same, Don? Say not.
I'd like to say not, but I'm afraid that we have a little bit more of the same. The easiest way is to have a look at our radar screen. So let's check live radar now and find out what is happening. And you can see around the greater Cleveland area, we're not picking up any shower activity. There's a little bit up in southern Ontario, just due north of us. And down around the Columbus area, in the central sections of the state, they are getting some very, very heavy rain down there. It's starting to pick up once again over Illinois and Indiana, and it's moving in an easterly direction. So even though we've stayed dry for the past couple of hours, I do have another wet forecast coming up, and we'll check all that in just a few minutes.
What are you going to do?
Okay. As is often the case, just how bad it is here is tempered, of course, by just how much worse it is someplace else.
And in this case, the someplace else is the Southwest. Today, a record amount of water went thundering through the gates of the Lake Livingston Dam in Texas. Many homes nearby were flooded out. Some 7,000 people were told to evacuate. The situation is really not any better in nearby Arkansas or Louisiana.
And look at this. Not water, but wind in the form of tornadoes rocked Oklahoma today. Twisters killed a child and hurt at least 14 others in the northwest part of the state. One twister was clocked with 100-mile-per-hour winds as it ripped through Stillwater. And the damage is simply devastating.
2 men who in many ways were classic American institutions died today. Puppeteer Jim Henson and song and dance man Sammy Davis Jr. Unlike Henson, who worked behind the scenes, Sammy Davis always took the spotlight and he made it his own. His remarkable life was non-stop action, even from the very beginning. Sammy Davis Jr.'s show business career actually started at the tender age of 1.5, when he took his first dance steps. In the 1950s, he became part of the famous Rat Pack with Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra. His career hit a stumbling block when a 1954 auto accident cost him an eye. As he fought to keep himself on top, he also fought a war against alcohol and drug abuse. Just recently, his career began to take off again. A reunion tour with the Rat Pack, his 60th anniversary in the entertainment business, and a movie, Tap. But his health took a toll, a heavy toll that he told me about in one of his last interviews.
What I was trying to do as I laid in the hospital from the kidney ailment, I just asked God if he would give me a chance to get even, you know, make it up. And I made some promises.
To the very end, Sammy Davis Jr. was a man who loved everyone around him, particularly his fans. Cleveland attorney John Climaco was Sammy's friend and confidant.
He loved people. He was very sensitive. One of the great human beings that ever lived, but I'm prejudiced. A 45-year friendship.
The people closest to him say Sammy Davis Jr. will be remembered for a long, long time. Sammy Davis Jr. will surely be missed, as will another man who made us all smile.
That's right. Even though Jim Henson's face certainly was not in the spotlight very often, his work and his voice were well known to us all, children and adults alike. He was the very first Jim Henson puppet character to be seen by a national TV audience. Rolf.
Maestro, can I have an A, please?
Jim Henson never knew failure. His puppet and then Muppet art forms became huge commercial successes. And his biggest success, that skinny little frog, Kermit.
Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog, here to talk to you about your neck.
Jim Henson died today at the age of 53 from complications of pneumonia. Doctors say he let his pneumonia go untreated for 3 days before finally getting treatment. For 2 decades, children grew up under his influence, from Sesame Street to Kermit to Miss Piggy, the creative man with the beard who breathed life into puppets, entertained millions.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows?
That's part of what rainbows do. Rainbows are memories.
Always at your service, we got a job to do. Making life better and brighter for you. Working with companies from all around, bringing new opportunities to your hometown. We're Ohio Edison, your neighbors and friends. Ohio Edison, the people you can count on. Ohio Edison, count on us, count on us.
Yes, this is our first Oldsmobile, and plans are now to do it again.
Find me another Cutlass Sierra.
Cutlass Sierra. For a limited time, get $1,500 cash back from Olds. $600 for first-time buyers.
Looks classic. And it was something that I could afford.
$11,170. And with 22% down, only $197 per month.
I'm definitely sold on Oldsmobile.
I would take my dealership and put it up against anybody's.
See your new Olds connection today.
Lenin's dream dying, the Soviet Empire in upheaval, each and every day in the Plain Dealer.
A fatal accident at the LTV steel plant to tell you about tonight.
The coroner's office says a man was apparently the victim of an industrial accident there. It all happened around 7 o'clock this evening, and Cleveland police, fire, and EMS were right on the scene. An ambulance took the man to Metro Health Center, but the hospital won't release his identity until the family is notified. EMS officials tell Eyewitness News that the man's legs and pelvis were crushed. And a group of senior citizens was forced outside tonight after a fire broke out at the Scranton Castle apartment complex on Scranton Road. Cleveland Fire quickly put out the blaze, and EMS reports there were no injuries.
Some encouraging news is coming out of the Baltic states tonight. Lithuania's parliament says it is willing to suspend some of the laws it has passed since declaring its independence from the Soviet Union. Now, this offer to the Kremlin may be the first step in reaching an agreement between the two sides. Meanwhile, these scenes of unrest in Latvia are giving way to a mood of compromise. Latvia's deputy prime minister says discussions with the Soviets about independence should take place in Moscow next week.
Bad news tonight, I'm afraid, for former hostage Robert Polhill. Cancer will require the removal of his voice box in an operation first thing tomorrow morning. That's the word out of Washington today, where Polhill has been undergoing medical treatment now since he was freed by his Shiite Muslim captors in Lebanon last month. Doctors say that the tumor growing around Polhill's vocal cords is about a year old, and that the radical surgery probably would not be necessary had it been discovered sooner. Doctors suspect the tumor was caused by Polhill's heavy smoking.
Last night, in the first part of his series, Dirty Data, Lou Maglio showed us just how easy it is for our children to get a hold of X-rated material through a computer. The big question really is what can be done to keep this dirty data from getting into the wrong hands? Lou Maglio tackles that tonight.
We showed some dirty data to State Senator Jeff Johnson. We started with the mild stuff.
It gets worse?
We showed him more. He was stunned.
I'm shocked by the fact that this can go in I'm thinking of computers being... I'm thinking of a Nintendo.
He called it cheap thrills, technology dragged through the dirt. He promised a state probe.
Many of my colleagues down in the Senate would be shocked by this. No doubt about it. Particularly the more conservative ones.
He wonders if there's a way to regulate an industry that offers material like this. But regulation won't come easy. As we've told you, modems help send the material from computer to computer via phone lines.
But Ohio Bell says private lines are just that, private. And privacy is something the sysops, the system operators, take very seriously.
Once you start saying, well, you can't see this, or you can't talk about that, before you know it, you have a dictatorship.
It's a private system, and I think people should be able to do what they want with their system.
The FBI says laws aren't necessarily being broken here. And when it comes to computers and pornography, well, that's a new area and a very gray area. But still, one would think something is wrong here. Chuck Poole, whose dad is a sysop, thinks this sort of sleaze isn't the right thing for young eyes to see.
I don't think so, because of the younger age groups that are going into them. I don't think they should be able to. Just not that kind of thing that kids should be able to see.
The state senator shares that view and vows
we have to stop it before it gets out of control.
And what can you do right now? We'll look at that tomorrow. Lou Maglio, Eyewitness News.
Parents might want to monitor their long-distance phone calls. You see, it requires a long-distance call to access some X-rated material. Now, if you see any strange numbers on your bill, it may be time to get suspicious.
As wet as it's been here, it may be hard to believe that some people will be experiencing low water pressure tomorrow. But repair work slated for the Parma water station will affect several communities. Now, those include Parma, Parma Heights, Middleburg Heights, Seven Hills, Strongsville, and North Royalton. So you'd better expect lower than normal water pressure tomorrow for 5 to 6 hours starting at mid-morning. That's right. It's the sort of stuff you might expect to find in a very sleazy bookstore. In fact, getting to the dirty data is pretty easy, and First Amendment and privacy laws make this sort of material difficult to control. However, Lou Maglio tells us there are ways.
These youngsters in Jim Howell's computer class at Chagrin Falls High really value the good things computers can do. As for the seedy things computers with modems can send from home to home...
Frankly, I think it's junk.
But Mitch believes it's a free country and that this should not be banned. Anne-Marie Aquaviva is not sure banning would do much good.
It could help with banning, but kids, it seems that when something gets banned, the kids go to try to do it because they want to know why it's banned. It's like, oh, this, it's got to be good.
We've already demonstrated how through the use of modems, industrious kids can have their pick of some sleazy material and trade it back and forth. Right now, laws can't do much to stop this wave of sleazy material, but there is something you can do.
Well, Mom and Dad have to police it, if anyone.
You just don't go out and buy a student a computer, buy them a modem, and let them have free run. Be aware of what is happening out there.
Some system operators say the files are more trouble than they're worth. Mark Lear erased his adult pictures during our visit.
Right now, I'm going to be taking these off of my system, more or less just to avoid any controversy.
And with a push of just a few buttons, his system is clean. You won't find any adult material on Tom Hoshka's bulletin board either.
I wouldn't want my own child doing it, so don't want anybody else's doing it.
But many sysops say it's wrong for fingers to point at them. The easy fix, they say, is for parents to get more involved.
So many parents don't even monitor their kids' behavior. And I have to do it for them. I'm their babysitter.
So parents ask questions.
Check out the systems that their kids are using, and check out their floppy disks, basically.
Don't let this describe you.
Most of the time, the parents themselves couldn't figure out how to turn on a computer, more or less how to get into a program to see what it's about.
Dirty data may or may not be in your child's computer. If you want to find out, borrow some of that youthful curiosity and ask. Lou Maglio, Eyewitness News.
Now, we want parents to know about the availability of fantasy lines. Children can take part in visual conversations that feature graphic sexual descriptions. Again, you should remember, computers provide children with absolute
We'll have a look around the state, first of all, find out how we are faring as far as our temperatures go. It's still mild, 65 in Cleveland, and that is just about the cool spot. Well, we got a 64 in Mansfield over in Findlay, but as we move downstate, everything warms up a little bit, with the exception of Cincinnati. They are also reading 64 because they've had more rain move into the Cincinnati area during the past few minutes. Up around Cleveland, nothing to report on radar, but down around Columbus and in the central section of the state, a lot more rain developing down there, and also down in Dayton and Cincinnati and over into Indiana. More showers and thunderstorms are starting to rumble through, and they'll be sliding up our way during the next little while. We still have a flood watch in effect, a flash flood watch through tonight for the entire state of Ohio. A lot of cloud cover now over Ohio. We do have some clear areas over in the northeastern section of the state, and a little bit earlier tonight, remember, over in Indiana and in northwestern Ohio, it had cleared out, but now all that cloud cover is starting to thicken up once again, and it's headed our way, and it's high and it's white on our pictures, and that means it's loaded with rain, and it's going to be catching us very, very shortly. Here's another picture now from 23,000 miles out in space, and it's all associated with this cold front. Most of the rain and the heavy weather just ahead of the front. The front will be coming through here late tomorrow morning, probably about noontime, and until then, we can expect an increasing chance of showers tonight. They will be developing more thunderstorms later tonight and on through the first part of tomorrow before it finally clears out. Now, by this time tomorrow night, it really will have cleared out. It will have moved all the way off to the Atlantic Ocean, leaving behind it a little bit of cloud cover, but clearing skies, so that on Friday, things are going to look pretty good. As a matter of fact, by tomorrow afternoon, we'll start to see a little bit of sunshine, but don't think that it's going to clear up completely, because down in the southwest, right through this area, we're going to have another storm develop and more precipitation coming up our way. And lo and behold, down in Texas and Louisiana, even tomorrow, more rain down there. All right, let's have a look at our forecast now for the next 5 days. For the boaters, winds tonight out of the west at 25 to 35 knots, waves 4 to 6 feet, water temperature 50 degrees. The lake is no place to be, particularly early tomorrow. Now, for tonight, we will have showers and thunderstorms redeveloping with a low of 60. And the outlook now for tomorrow, showers early in the day, then clearing by tomorrow afternoon, a high of 70, and the sun will rise at 7 minutes after 6 o'clock. For tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies, a low of 45. It'll be cooling off considerably after the passage of that cold front. Sunset time, 8:41 tomorrow. Now, for the rest of the 5-day period, Friday, we'll have quite a bit of sunshine. It'll be a very nice day, a little on the cool side. Saturday, some sunshine early in the day, and then clouding over, some rain developing. Sunday and Monday, some more rain. Thursday, tomorrow, 70 for a high. On Friday, 63. Saturday, 65. Sunday, 68. And Monday, 70. And the overnight lows, no lower than 45 degrees over the next 5-day period. As you get up and go to work in the morning, look out for more rain and bad driving conditions. Could have some flash floods. Do be careful. Some showers and 62 degrees. Well, there was a flood of the stadium tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, I saw Herb score before the ball game. I said, what do you think? He said, you are going to see the ball flying out of here tonight.
Yeah, what did he say?
And he is exactly right. And the last one that flew out went about 450 feet, courtesy of Mark McGuire.
Right on.
It was a great game. It was a great game. But unfortunately, a gut-wrenching loss, and we'll have it up next.
Your Ohio Ford dealers have a special offer on America's best-selling compact pickup. Right now, you can get a new, fully equipped 1990 Ford Ranger XLT for only $94.66. Oh, boy. And that includes air, stereo, cassette, the works. And now, for a limited time, you can also get a tough $400 bed liner. Absolutely free. Now, that's a deal that's heaven sent. No wonder Ford is winning Ohio over.
My mama told me you don't have to shop around. Shop and find it.
First class steak sale featuring full cut sirloin steak, $2.99 a pound. 18-ounce Jif peanut butter, only $1.99. Hellman's mayonnaise, 32 ounces, only $1.99. And our 31st finest store opens Sunday in Elyria.
My mama told me you don't have to shop around. First class shopping, total lower cost.
It's not easy serving such popular dishes at Country Kitchen. We fire up the grill every morning and pepper it with cakes and fresh eggs and lots of vegetables and potatoes and French toast. And, well, you can see why people love the dishes at Country Kitchen. But our busboys? Thank you. That's another story. Enjoy your farm skillet. Cinnamon bun and juice, $3.95 at Country Kitchen.
Lots of action here at Toyota's Big League Sales event.
Coming onto the field, the Toyota Celica.
Joe, here's this new phenom we've been hearing so much about. This new Celica is really put together.
And right now, you can sign one up for peanuts.
Wonder how it is on the speed gun. It sure has the style of a winner. Wow. At that price, they're going fast.
And with those wheels, I could have played center field.
Right.
See your Toyota dealer now for a great Celica deal at Toyota's Big League event.
It's a whole new ballgame.
I could have, John.
I think so.
1 out, just 1 out away from his 14th save in 14 tries. Doug Jones became a mere mortal tonight, and the Indians became 7-6 losers, succumbing to the A's Bash Brothers in heartbreaking fashion. It was home run derby time on the lakefront. Brooke Jacoby hit number 4 off Bob Welch in the second, the first Tribe run off Welch since July of 1988, covering more than 28 innings. And more of the same in the third. Candy Maldonado went deep to center for a three-pointer, number 8 for Candy, RBIs 24, 25, and 26, and a 4-zip Tribe lead, but Jeff Shaw could not hang on. In the fourth, Jose Canseco hit one of those patented no-doubters of his, number 13 on the year, and an ominous omen of things to come. On the very next pitch, Mark McGuire lofted a moonshot, his 10th of the season, and Shaw's first look at the A's was becoming X-rated. Ron Hasse made it a trifecta by popping one into the seats down the right field line, number 2 for Hasse, and the first time the A's had hit 3 straight homers since 1980, and the third time in their history. But Candy Maldonado restored order in the 7th with this run-scoring single to break a 5-5 tie. It looked for all the world like the Tribe would win it. But no. 2 down in the 9th, and McGuire sends a Doug Jones offering deep into the night with a man on. McGuire's second home run of the game, ending the A's 4-game losing streak. What can you say after something like that? The first home run off Jones by a right-handed batter since 1987. Dave Winfield has agreed to join the California Angels, and here's why. Winfield will get a 3-year, $9 million contract extension from the Angels, the first $2 million guaranteed. The Angels have the option for the next 2 years. Owner Gene Autry digging deep into his saddlebags again. Winfield will report to the Angels on Thursday. It's all over for the 76ers. Michael Jordan and the Bulls made sure of that with a 117-99 verdict in Chicago Stadium tonight. Jordan fired away for 37, and the Bulls grabbed the series 4-1. All-star Scottie Pippen returned after the death of his father and flipped in 29. The Bulls outscored the weary Sixers 55-36 in the second half. You got to have depth in the playoffs, and that leaves Philly out. Bud Carson's admiration for assistant coaches George Sefcik and Lionel Taylor became evident today. Sefcik and Taylor were promoted to the positions of run coordinator and pass coordinator, respectively. Both men have had a large hand in putting together the 1990 playbook. Both men did not have enough input last season. Former Brown safety Al Gross will not be going to prison on cocaine-related charges. Instead, Gross was sentenced by Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Judge James Sweeney to a drug treatment program. Gross was arrested last October by Bracknell police after a high-speed chase. Cocaine was found in his car. And more Browns-related news. This summer, the team will train for a week in Green Bay, Wisconsin, prior to playing the Packers at Lambeau Field August 11th. A whole week of scrimmaging the Packers, well, that's not exactly a summer vacation. Tragedy today at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. A 5-car pileup during practice for Sunday's NASCAR event. The end result was the death of 27-year-old driver David Gaines. He could not avoid the mishap and died of massive head injuries. Now to the scoreboard, where the Mariners, who are coming here on Friday, well, they had some fun in the Sky Dome tonight. All right, I guess you have what? Celebrities coming up next?
Celebrities, namely this guy,
Yeah.
raising money for a worthy cause today.
It was a worthy cause.
Got to ask you one quick thing. Can Herb Score do a Nev Chandler imitation?
Yes, he can. He's done it before.
Does he do it? Oh,
I
I'd
wouldn't
love
know.
to
I don't know
hear
what
that.
I sound like.
It's hard
Maybe
to hear.
someday we'll hear
someone
Nev
else
Chandler
hears you.
doing Herb Score doing Nev.
Now that would be interesting.
That would be a real trifecta. I got to
All right.
You just did it. There's more Eyewitness News coming up, too.
We'll be right back.